Teach your children to see color, not only theirs, but the colors of others. Teach your children to see color so they can see race and recognize racism in whatever color it may come. Teach your children to see color, not to judge people by it, but to recognize the reality of race and the reality of racism. A child who is taught to pretend they don't see color may also fail to see discrimination when it happens. Seeing color is not the problem. Assigning value based on color is. Devaluing people based on the color of their skin is the problem. So the goal is not color blindness. The goal is humanity, kindness. Unfortunately, if we're honest, Dr. King's dream, though beautiful, is still just a dream. In this society, judging people by the content of their character has not yet become a reality. The color of one's skin continues to dictate how the racial construct is applied. Color still dictates category. Your children are categorized and even characterized by color. Here's a quick distinction they should understand. Race is not real, but it is reality. Color is a physical characteristic. Race is a category people created by grouping physical characteristics together and assigning them social meaning. Since skin color is the most visible characteristic, it's how your children's character is initially assigned in a society centered on race. Once societies created categories of characterization, they attached stereotypes, privileges, disadvantages, and expectations to them. That's why we say race is a social construct, even though skin color itself is real. Racism is the unequal treatment of people based on those socially constructed racial categories. Skin color is real. Race is the system humans created to classify people based on characteristics. Racism is what happens when those classifications are used to treat people differently. And by differently, we mostly mean poorly, unjustly, unfairly, sometimes even inhumanely. Racism is the use of socially constructed racial categories to deny people equal dignity, equal opportunity, or equal treatment. And your children need to know. They need to know because there may be times when they are the only person present in a place with their particular skin color or one similar. They also need to know because they may encounter someone who is the only person present with a particular skin color. They need to understand that a person's skin color is of no less or greater value than their own. They need to look only to the standard of that person's behavior to determine whether they are worthy of sharing the same space. They need to understand and believe that they are worthy of being in the same space as anyone of good character exhibiting good behavior. And they need to act accordingly, never shrink, and know to withdraw upon seeing behavior that is inconsistent with good character. They also need to understand there may always be those of poor character who are not worthy of their continued presence or trust. Regardless of previous experiences, the atmosphere can change at any time with such people. Your children must always be prepared to change their environment when the atmosphere changes. They must always be ready to move to safety, even if it means cutting ties. This guidance is for all children and parents, those of color and those who find themselves enjoying the presence of people of color. Those who find themselves in the presence of children of color bear the same responsibility to be prepared and ready to accompany them to safety should a move become necessary. In America specifically, because America is what I know, no child should grow up thinking that any American city or surrounding is immune to racism. In particular, the color Black, as assigned to the race comprising the majority of people with the greatest amount of melanin, has typically experienced racism to a greater extent than any other racial category in America. Since this country and developed with the construct of race at its core, Central to every aspect of its culture as a country, it determined long ago that the skin tone most easily identified as different would be the one to bear the heaviest burden of racial injustice. I don't know if racial injustice against any skin color will ever change. So unless and until it does, see color. Acknowledge what it could mean at any given time, even as you acknowledge the dynamic diversity it brings. Every color contains beauty, the contents of which are meant to be seen.